Hey everybody! Whoop! I have all sorts of problems here. Oh, I'm just trying to get everybody in here because welcome to Rock in the Valley Cyber Speakeasy. Today's password is password 123 exclamation point. My name is Mike. I am not for Coltrane. I am your host here on the Cyber Speakeasy, and I hope you have a tasty and refreshing beverage with you because we're going to see who is here with us that we can talk to, and if I know how to do that, then that's going to be, yes, like that, so we can see everybody, and I'm going to adjust that so I'm in frame. There we are. Let me unmute everybody so you can all introduce yourselves. Okay, we've got everybody here. We've got Tom Cooney there, out in space on the upper left. We've got Neil Grover there in a nice brightly lit room in the lower left there, and we've got Chelsea Lynn Meyer with the strange individual lurking in the background behind her, which doesn't seem to be causing her alarm. So I'm hoping that's good. What does everybody have to drink this evening? Tom, why don't you go first?
I have an ice water with a little bit of Bombay Sapphire Gin in it.
I'm sorry, a little bit of what now?
Bombay Sapphire Gin.
Gin. Ah, okay, very nice. How about you, Neil?
I also have water, just because I've been drinking so much Coke Zero and coffee recently that in quarantine that I kind of forgot.
Like together, Coke Zero and coffee at the same time?
Definitely not.
Okay, good.
Just the kicks. It was just kind of a reminder that like all vocalists need to hydrate, you know.
This is true. Absolutely, we all do need to hydrate. That too. Chelsea, what do you have?
I also have water. I'm honestly not a big drinker, and same like vocalist, hydrating. I'm big on water, so.
Water is very good, and ordinarily that's what I would have, but since this is a Cyber Speakeasy, I need to make sure that I have something special that looks good on camera here with everybody. So I have, this is A-Treat's Big Blue Soda, which it's kind of citrusy, it's kind of like cotton candy. It's good. It's not ordinarily what I would drink during a gig, but there you go. A-Treat's Big Blue, and I also wanted to say I forgot to do this last time, but I do want to offer a toast this time, especially since we've been having some hard times with some folks recently. We've got the word came out I think it was just yesterday, right, Tom? That our friend Neil Grover, who's been a fixture in a lot of the local music. Bob Grover. Neil is still with us. Neil is right there. Bob Grover. I assume no relation.
No.
Yeah, okay. Bob Grover, who's been such a great part of the open mic scene for such a long time. I met him over in Macungie at Listen Live Music many years ago. If you never saw Bob, I have no idea how they got that much Texas into a guy from Jersey.
Yeah.
But man, he was such a performer and such a sweet guy, and he unfortunately is no longer with us. And shout out also to Steve Jones from here at Rock in the Valley, who had a bit of a medical scare on Tuesday. Steve, I think, is recovering, is doing all right. Steve may be here with us. I haven't seen him just yet, but I understand he's planning to do his webcast later this evening. So to Bob, to Steve, to all their friends and family, everyone who loves them and is close to them, and everybody out there who's having any kind of a challenging medical time these days, and boy, there are a lot of folks. Here's to you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Rest in peace, Bob.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to set aside my controls here and play a little music. So that'll be the first thing that we get us started with. I don't have a tremendous number of songs about drinking, but I'm going to play one of the ones that I do have. Some of you may already be... Oh, I also need to mute all of the other performers, so it's that way this will sound a little better for everyone. Okay, and... there we are. Okay, so... And of course, if you are watching us live online, by all means, please and, hey, comments. Oh, a note from Ellen about R.A.P. Bob. Yes, absolutely. Rest in peace, Bob, or rise in power, as I saw someone say recently. So, this is a song of mine. What some of you may know and some of you may not know is that many years ago I got my start as the frontman of a Jimmy Buffett cover band. That happens to be true. It may not be obvious from the way that I dress or the way that I sound, but it does happen to be true. When I was a lad in high school, I was the frontman of a Jimmy Buffett cover band. We were based in the Baltimore, Maryland area, but sometimes would venture farther out into somewhat more distant regions, often down into the Washington, D.C. area, every once in a while to points north. And on one very memorable occasion, we ventured up into rural southern Pennsylvania for an actual event known as the Rudy's Ransom Annual Pancake Breakfast. Yes, let's kind of let that rattle around your head for a moment. The Rudy's Ransom Annual Pancake Breakfast. And for many years, I would attempt to tell people the story of that strange and wonderful event and exactly what made it so strange and what made it so wonderful. Until finally I paused, as so many of us have before, and I asked that question that we all have asked at one time or another: what would Jimmy Buffett do? He turned it into a song, right? So that's what I did. She's been sipping on Bloody Marys since about 7 a.m. She's got her Hawaiian shirt on. She's ready for the fun to begin. There's sausages on the griddle. She's got that orange juice ready to pour. It's breakfast time in the country, so come on up to her door. Down the gravel road, she's here to lighten your load in a way that only she can. Down at the family farm, just head up to that barn and line right up with her clan. Here at the Rudy's Ransom Annual Pancake Breakfast. Rudy's Ransom Annual Pancake Breakfast. The band's playing Jimmy Buffett. They're set up in the barn over there, and everybody's singing Margaritaville as they wave their plastic forks in the air. She works the buffet line, serving up those good pancakes. She flirts with all the old men and with boys a third of her age. People sit on the ground, they pass cold ones around, they laugh and they celebrate. And while they meet and greet, the dogs sneak up and eat the sausage right off of their plate. Here at the Rudy's Ransom Annual Pancake Breakfast. Rudy's Ransom Annual Pancake Breakfast. Accommodations are crude, the only bathroom is an outhouse. She's painted periwinkle, people don't mind having a good old time. Then it started to sprinkle. Big scatter in the downpour. She's dancing in the rain. 'Cause when life is just so damn good, there isn't any cause to complain. She spins around while the rain's falling down. The band's to playing Brown Eyed Girl. She feels the rain on her face. She knows this is her place. She doesn't have a care in the world. Here at the Rudy's Ransom Annual Pancake Breakfast. 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 There you go. Inspired by actual events, the Rudy's Ransom Annual Pancake Breakfast. And I should mention that that song is also available on my my EP, which is out, and you can gotta find that on the Spotify and the Amazon and the Apple Music and all those things. The EP is called Fuzziness and Breath, and my name is not for Coltrane. It's down there on the bottom of the thing. You can see where it says not for Coltrane. All right, so we've got cool folks hanging out with us here. I'm gonna swap this over so that I can see who it is I'm talking with. I'm going to pull up my friend Neil Grover over here. I'm going to make you the spotlight. There we are. And then I'm going to... Aha, there's Neil. And you unmuted yourself. That's an even better idea. That way that we can actually talk to each other.
How's it going?
I'm doing all right, Neil. How are you?
Good, good. It's been an interesting couple months.
Yes, it's been an interesting couple of months. And so we've had an opportunity to do at least one thing together. It was back in the beginning of April. We did the Come Together event, so thank you very much for being part of that. I'm very grateful for that.
That was a blast.
It was really cool. And I think I saw, like, in that same... That same weekend, you did another thing with, was that Kenny Mays' event?
Yeah, that was really cool. That was called Stories from Quarantine. And we just took, or rather he just took a bunch of artists and who wanted to be part of it. And, we did these like half-hour sets. And so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I got
very
to
cool.
do some songs on the keys and do some songs on the piano. On the guitar. And so I got to play both instruments, which was really neat.
Nice. And then I saw that also then, since then, you've posted a couple pieces, but you've also, the past couple weeks, you've been laying low a little bit. Have you been working on, working on writing, working on other new stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of taken a different approach. I've been enjoying other people's live streams and stuff, but if I don't keep writing, I feel like I lose my sense of identity. So, I've been taking this time to write a lot, and I always want to make sure that I'm prepared to release stuff for the next year and the following year, because I just want to keep the music coming. And so I've taken this opportunity to write some new material. And so I'm really excited about hitting the studio because I'm going back there next week after a break for the quarantine. And so we're just going to keep going at it. Yeah.
That's very cool. And I think you were telling me before we went live that you have some material that's coming out soon on all the various music platforms too, right?
Yeah, I'm actually releasing my final single from the Shadow and Fire EP probably in July. Definitely this summer. I'm just finalizing the date, but most likely July. And then I'm going to release the entire Shadow and Fire EP before the year ends. And so this is my second EP, and then right now I'm working on the third.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
So you have simultaneously the release and all the promotion related to the most recent EP, as well as your writing material for the new EP, which is what you're going to be working on in the studio coming up.
Yep.
Yeah.
The EP is done. I'm just working on the next one.
Wow, that's very, very cool. Well, what do you have for us today, Neil?
I was gonna play a song that I recently released in March called "Under the Weather" Volume 1, and it doesn't have anything to do with drinking, but I wrote it a few years ago while I was drinking, so that's the closest thing I can come to that. But
That works. That totally works.
Here we go. To have it going on, and yet you did. Turned your gold into plastic instead. Wanna play me, get inside in my head. Ain't gonna happen, ain't gonna happen. Try to hit me with your words, and yet you try. I could take it much worse for the ride. Rope a dope, you believe inside. Here's your line, here comes your line now. What did I do, oh, what did I do? You were the crazy one, not me, just you. Everyone else was to blame but yourself. That was the way every time you'd fallen out, and now you fall into the fire. And outside the better, you are one hell of a liar. You breathe under the weather, you fall into the fire. And outside the better, you are one hell of a liar. You breathe under the weather. Where you getting all the seagull from? Ain't nothing you got but your body, have fun. Wanna shock me with your style, it's done. It don't faze me, it don't face me. Try to bring up all the past to reminisce. Think I'll unclench like a loose fist. And if I said you could have been more than that and this, then you tell me, what did I do, oh, what did I do? You were the crazy one, not me, just you. Everyone else was to blame but yourself. That was the way every time you'd fallen out, and now you fall into the fire. And outside the better, you are one hell of a liar. You breathe under the weather, you fall into the fire. And outside the better, you are one hell of a liar. You breathe under the weather. Hey, 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 babe. Hey, 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 babe. What you gonna do? wanna, what you gonna do now? What you wanna, what you wanna, what you wanna, what you wanna do now? What you wanna, what you wanna, what you wanna, what you wanna do now? You fall into the fire, and that's in the bed, and you are born out of a liar. You breathe under the weather, you fall into the fire, and that's in the bed, and you are born out of a liar. You breathe under the weather, hey, hey. You breathe under the weather, hey, hey. You breathe under the weather, hey, hey, hey. You breathe under the weather, hey, hey. You breathe under the weather.
That is such a cool song. I love that song. In fact, I'm so glad you picked that one. I was just, oh wait, that's the one that I put on a Spotify playlist just the other week. It's a really cool song. It's very, very cool. And the other, I know you also sometimes do work with a looper. That also, I mean, sort of the rhythm of that sounds like it kind of leads it. Do you play around with that at all? I mean, I know we play around with the looper with that particular song. You have arrangements of that?
I actually never have with this song, but that's a good idea.
I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
That'd be a lot of fun. I love working with the looper. I'm still trying to I don't work with it enough, but I'd love to get better at that. So that's
it's kind of it's its own separate skill, right? You know, there's the skill of actually being able to play the guitar and sing, and then there's this whole other thing you got to do with your feet at the same time, rhythmically. Make all that work. Yeah, but yeah,
it's like rhythmically, that's the challenge. I feel
right.
Like
it's got to be at just the right moment.
I feel like people like Ed Sheeran make it look really easy.
This is true.
Nah.
This is very true. Well, thank you very much for being here, Neil. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let me get things set up so we can bring Chelsea in here. I'm going to mute Neil, and I'm going to bring Chelsea in, and we're going to make that at the middle, and then there she is. Excellent. Let me make sure that we can hear you too, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there we are. Thank you so much for making time to do this. I appreciate it, Chelsea. I know you have a ton of stuff that you're working on.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm glad you asked me.
Absolutely. Well, part of the reason I wanted to make sure I talked to you is because now we're both relatively recent additions to the Rock in the Valley family. And Steve, we talked about obviously at the top of the show, who's been involved with Rock in the Valley for quite a while. And I think he must have seen what you're doing with all of this distancing, and you still had an open mic going on, which is very, very cool. What did that go like when Steve reached out to you?
When did he reach out to me? Or what did it go like?
Or how did it happen? How did things go?
Well, Steve's been out to the open mic a couple times.
Okay.
He's played, and he went live for a little bit with Rocking the Valley in person before all this went down. And he just kind of reached out and said, you know, he would like to kind of do part of it as Rocking the Valley because he was looking for something for Wednesday nights. So
yeah, and that's very cool. So we should say this is at the Leather Corner Post in Orfield when we can actually be there in person, right?
Yep. Leather Corner Post in Orfield.
How long have you been doing the open mic there?
This is year 5.
That's a long time to be doing the same open mic. That's very, very cool.
It is. It's a long time. It's awesome. The owners there, the staff, they're all like family. So it's a really cool place to go and just be a part of. It's cool.
Well, and one of the things that I also really respect about what you've been doing is that it seems like a lot of the things you've been doing when you've been sort of like, hey, how can we make the streaming work? How can we do these other things? It's been really oriented about, you know, what can we do to support local businesses and restaurants and a lot of folks who are struggling right now.
Right. Yeah.
I think I saw that. I think I saw that a couple of your things that, you know, hey, anything we raise tonight goes to Leather Corner Post. I think you've done some for other local businesses too.
Yeah, basically, I had a pretty packed year. I think I was playing at least one place every weekend, or I was supposed to be. So
wow.
The shows that I was supposed to be having, when they were getting canceled, rather than just not doing anything, I kind of decided to go live and put up some GoFundMe links. And then those shows, instead of, you know, playing them in person, we were just going live and having people donate to the venue to go towards their staff or just keeping them open, because, you know, once this is all over, us musicians are going to still need a place to play, and hopefully these venues are open.
Yeah.
And they're just doing what they can, just like we are. So
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I think that's very, very cool. And then, and so you also have a thing. I think it was it last weekend and also coming up this weekend with Foundation Tavern over in Westerville.
Yeah, they're.
How did that come together?
They're doing a drive-through barbecue event every weekend, and during the week they have just their regular menu up too, just drive-through curbside pickup. And the some of the managers from there were in some of my live streams, and we just happened to mention to them when we saw them pop in that if they ever wanted to do, music while people are doing curbside, that they should hit us up, and they did. So we were really happy to be a part of that and to get to do that with them, because Foundation Tavern is a really cool place to go as a musician, because there's just people there who literally will just go there to hang out with you and listen to what you
That is
play.
great.
So,
That is great. Yeah, and not every venue is like that, so it's really cool.
No,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And so you were there as a duo, right? With Billy. Give me his name.
Yeah, Billy Voigt. We were there on Saturday this last weekend. This weekend we're gonna do Sunday from 1 to 3. We'll be
Nice.
there because that's the only day that's really got nice weather. But
Good deal.
we're really excited about it. We love Foundation.
Yeah, so people should check out. I guess they should look for Foundation Tavern on the
yeah.
Facebook, and of course they should follow your music page on Facebook.
Yeah, definitely.
All those cool things. Well, since we were concerned, you and I had talked a little bit beforehand, try to do the best we could with the audio to make it sound really good. And we didn't have a whole lot of time to test, and I wasn't confident that the resources that you have sound great for talking, but they might not do the guitar so well. So what I did is I pulled a clip, because you actually, in addition to being live at the drive-through barbecue this past weekend, you also were live streaming from the drive-through barbecue, and so I pulled a clip from that. So let's go ahead and let me pull that up so we can watch that right now.
Well, she was an American girl, raised on promises. She couldn't help thinking that there was a little more life somewhere else. After all, it was a great big world with lots of places to run to. And if she had to die trying, she had one little promise she was gonna keep. Oh yeah, alright, take it easy, baby, and that's the night. She was an American girl. Well, it was kinda cold that night. She stood alone on her balcony. Well, she could hear the cars roll by down the 441, like the waves crashing on the beach. And for one desperate moment there,
bit of a line going on there.
Yeah, we got a line going here at Foundation Tavern. You guys can come by. We're doing a drive-through barbecue. You can place your orders online or come here for it. Oh, thank you, Katie. And thank you, Paulette. You guys are awesome.
There you go. So, I mean, that webcast that you had there, you were going for like 2 hours, which I guess isn't that unusual for a show. But I was going through the webcast, like, wow, there's so much great stuff here. How do I pick a song from all this material? When you hit those opening chords from American Girl, I'm like, oh, okay, yes, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to pull from. And come to think of it, you have when you do things like that, or when you've done other live streams, you're basically saying, hey, let me know what you want to hear, and you go for a long period of time with basically all requests. How do you keep track of everything, Matt? How do you do all that?
I'm not gonna lie, like we miss stuff all the time, or that I might see somebody putting something in there that I've never heard in my life, so I just kind of like, let's pick something else. We just keep watching it. If there's something that I'm at least a little bit familiar with, I'll try and do it on the fly. See if I can pull it off. There's times where I'm stumped.
It looks like sometimes you may also have some you're able to pull up some tabs or some chords right there, so you can have a little bit of a help to be able to respond to people's requests that way.
Yeah, I actually love not making set lists for acoustic shows, just because Billy and I we do a pretty decent job of getting a lot of requests from people. Usually, if we ask for them, they're more than willing to throw them at us. So I do have the tablet there, just to, if something's thrown my way, I can at least look it up to make it happen. But it's fun not knowing what you're gonna play next.
It's kind of there's kind of like you're working without a net to some degree. But one of the things I love about that is you turn to Bill with that clip we just showed. You turn to Billy and you're like, hey, we're doing this, and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
He knows where you're going. He's able to follow. He's able to make it work. It's just fine.
Billy's amazing. He could probably literally play anything you throw at him. He's just he's an incredible musician. Like, I'm really honored to get to play next to him a lot of the time. So.
That is very cool. That is very cool. Well, and I'll mention this too. I should plug my own thing that I do. On Tuesdays, 12:30 in the afternoon, I have Coltrane Tuesdays, and we play the Not for Coltrane Stump the Band game. And part of the challenge with that is that I don't have any resources with me. If people suggest a song that I kind of sort of know, I just have to fake my way through it. And if they request a song that I don't know at all, I have to make up a brand new song right there on the spot with the same name as the song that was requested. So it's not quite the same thing, but the goal in those situations is to come up with entertaining failures that are fun for people to watch, not just necessarily, oh, hey, this is the song that you actually wanted to hear.
You're much braver than me. I don't think I could do that.
It's very much like, oh, hey, I'm going to prove to myself that I can actually do this, and then actually show my face in public afterwards. Because, believe me, it's very much geared toward, this is something that's terrifying, and I'm going to force myself to do it anyway. So, and song selection, I wanted to ask also, for anyone who's curious and wants to be part of your virtual open mic, which you do on Wednesday evenings, how does the mechanics of that work? Because obviously, one way to do it is the way we're talking right now, where we bring people together over like a conferencing software and try to make that work. But you do something different for your open mics.
Yeah, so since we started open mic, we started a Facebook group for it, just because I like to take pictures of all the performers when they're there in person, and then they can use those then for whatever they wanted to. And that way when people are at home, they can kind of follow along with what's going on at Leather Corner Post when we're there. So the Facebook group is Open Mic Night at Leather Corner Post. It's pretty simple. If you just join that group, it's not a private group, it's a public group. You should be able to find it right away. Join the group, and then I put up a post around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock on every Wednesday night saying, if you want to sign up, just comment your name below. And then, they'll tell me, I'm at home, I'll get home from work around 8, so can you put me on later? Or can you give me an early slot? And I'll just try and kind of configure whatever fits everybody's schedules, and then I'll put up our list of who's up first and second and third. I'll give them their time slots depending on how many people sign up, and all I have to do is go live within the group. And then it's a good way. It's really a pretty tight community that we've kind of created there. So it's really nice to see that all our performers and regulars be able to interact again and just kind of
Sure.
see each other and
Yeah.
some type of way. So
Yeah.
it's different, it's challenging, but it's something, you know.
One of the things that's striking, I guess, and hearing you describe it, is how much of it is very similar to just a regular open mic experience where you show up, you put your name on a list, you know, you as the host put people in an order, say, hey, you're going to come and do this. But just instead of, you know, but one long video stream, it's everybody individually posting their own streams to the group, and everyone's hanging out in the group and watching and being supportive and encouraging. Yeah, that's really very cool.
Yeah, it is. It's neat. It's nice.
And also, I mean, it's great. I know that a lot of things you do. You said you put up like GoFundMe's for the various businesses and that sort of thing. So is that also part of the deal with the open mic then, supporting Leather Corner Post?
You know, I haven't done that yet. It's something that a couple different performers have mentioned during their performances. You know, if you wanted to give something, then they gave like a link to my Venmo or something. But I don't particularly need the money for tips like other people do. I'm fortunate enough to still be working. I'd much rather go to the venue because they've been so good to me. Like I just want to help them out any way that I can. That's something we might do in the future. We'll see about that.
Well, it's there. I mean, in the meantime, you know, anything that we're doing to encourage people to go, you know, get curbside pickup from any local restaurant. Especially if you can go directly to the restaurant, so there's no the overhead from the delivery folks. You know, contact the restaurant and you know, and so enjoy as close as you can to an actual open mic experience, because you've got great food from a place like Leather Corner Post. You've got all these great local performers who are coming together in this virtual space. I think it's really cool what you've been able to do with that.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for making time to be here. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Good deal, good deal. All right, let me put things over to our other performer for the evening, which would be Mr. Tom Cooney, who is apparently somewhere out in space. So, you gotta talk to me about the background here. There was something when you said, okay, I'm going on the Cyber Speakeasy show. The thing that I need to do is I need to look like I'm floating above a planet somewhere out in the galaxy.
Yeah, well, the speakeasies, as you know, started in the 1920s.
Exactly, yes.
In Prohibition, and that's how people got high. But things have changed a lot, obviously, since then. So I just keep up with the times.
You got high a different way, literally by raising yourself above the atmosphere.
Very much, which is pretty much how I do it usually these days anyway. Fine.
Oh, it is so appropriate that you're a dad, because boy, is that a dad joke. That
It really is bad.
yeah.
I can't stop it.
Yeah. All right, well. Oh, I was first going to ask you about a webcast that you've been doing. I think this is on Tuesdays, right? Your songs for Prometheus? How does that work?
Tuesdays at 4 o'clock, and yours, of course, is Tuesdays at 12:30.
That's right.
It's called 3 Songs for Prometheus. It's a funny way of thanking the person who created us from clay, stole fire for us, gave us arts and sciences. We figured, what the heck? Be nice to this guy. He's done a lot for us. And it has been 3 original songs only and out. We're done in about 25 minutes. It's on Facebook Live at 4 o'clock Eastern. I recently switched it last week to make the middle song a cover. To do a cover tune. I play songs from lots of different genres. And the first song I did was Duke Ellington's classic tune, which still gets played and recorded to this day, I Ain't Got Nothing But the Blues. And just had a lot of fun with that tune.
Nice. Very cool. All right, that's very cool. Well, and I think when you and I had talked about this a while ago, that when you started these songs for Prometheus, it was also, you know, we talked with Chelsea about playing without a net. This is kind of a similar deal for you, to feel more exposed, and like, oh, holy cow, these are all of my own songs, and I'm putting all out there that I've got to do every week.
Very much, and I've been very fortunate to be in a really strong vein of songwriting for about 3 years now. I've got a couple dozen decent tunes stacked up. I've got about 8 of them done.
Good deal. Well, we've Tom is possibly. Wait, there you are. Did we lost you for a minute? Are you back now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so trying to get the communications from all the way up the top of the atmosphere, I can see there would be some challenges with that. I did also want to mention for your audio, it sounds like it may have gone back to doing the processing again. If you're going to check to see if there's a button there to.
No, original sound is still off.
Oh, it still says turn.
Off original sound.
It still says turn off original sound. Okay. Well, maybe it may be a bandwidth thing, so we'll do what we can and make it work.
Well,
what do you have?
Well, what I was saying briefly was I install original stuff on Tuesdays. Got quite a dozen decent songs that I've written in the last few years, as well as many from years ago. I've got about 7 or 8 of them in the can, ready to be released for an EP when I can get back into the studio I was working at. And been doing lots of other musical stuff too, as you know. I've been helping Jim Carolyn and Mike Holliday run the Godfrey Daniels Guitar Pool Songwriters Group.
For folks who may not be familiar with that term, what is a guitar pull? Because it sounds like there's taffy involved or something, but no, it has nothing to do with that.
It's an old Nashville old country term where you had one guitar and you passed it around. It's also known as pass the song.
The idea is like you would pull a guitar off the holder on the wall or whatever, and then pass that around to the group would play, right? Something like that.
Almost all original material, and you're just around the circle sharing your stuff. I've been doing it for about 3.5 years after I retired from my technology management career and started really chasing the music pretty hard. It has been just a great place for me to feel comfortable and safe and to try out things that might be 80 or 90% baked. Just a really nice group of folks.
80 or 90% baked in the sense that the song is not quite complete. Just so we're clear about the meaning with that.
Yes.
And it's worth mentioning too. Well, first off, Mike Holliday and I go back for quite a ways because he and I were together helping to coordinate things for the Godfrey Daniels open mic. And so it's great that connection is still going on there. And Godfrey Daniels just is a wonderful resource for songwriters, acoustic music, local music, and all that sort of thing too. So it's great that's part of the community that you're in at this point too. And worth noting that Bob Grover was a key part of that community, and a lot of the tributes that I've seen, the outpourings of grief and of love for him and everything that he did. A lot of it has been focused on members of that guitar pull circle, which is really cool.
Yeah, I've been singing his songs in my head all day since he passed yesterday, and he was a very unique and very good songwriter.
Yeah, he absolutely was. And I think I said this earlier that how do you get that much Texas in a guy from Jersey? But man, he is something. And I'm gonna go see if I can learn a couple of his songs too, and see what I can do on my show on Tuesday. But yeah,
I've been doing some featured songwriter concerts as well in the greater area with Philadelphia Area Songwriters Alliance and a few other groups. So it's kind of great. It gives you a chance to be one of 2 or 3 spotlighted artists for a few hours, and it's a good test of are your songs really polished and can you keep them sharp? It's a lot of fun.
Very cool, very cool. So what do you have for us today? I think I'm not sure if you're going to do the same one that you sound checked on, but my sense is this may be a relatively new one.
Actually, it's not. It's something I don't do a lot.
Okay.
But it's called Company Man. It is a fictional story about a multi-generational clandestine group of secret agent pilots who all belong to a family. Daddy flew the money bags through the night to Tehran. Grandpa ran gold to banana republics, trading tanks and guns. Me, I was flying right seat before I learned how to ride a bike. So I joined the family business, 'cause the rush it gets me high. I'm a company man, bringing chaos and democracy. All war, all the time, anywhere I wanna be. I'm a company man. From From a DC-3 to 737 to a my little C5A. Black paint, no lights, I call letters. I fly by night to save the day. I got a diplomats to tell the lies, the bankers to wash the gold, deep pockets and poor boy soldiers, and the media to get it all sold. I'm a company man, bringing chaos and democracy. All war, all the time, anywhere I wanna be. I'm a company man. Southern Air Transport, baby. Uncle Jerry flies the cocaine from Managua to L.A. Little sister flies renditions, but to where she cannot say. Me, I'm running Learjets to Moscow and to the troll farms in Belarus. Hey, last one out, turn out the lights. There's nothing left to lose. I'm a company man, bringing chaos and democracy. All war, all the time, anywhere I wanna be. I'm a company man. I'm a company man.
Very nice. There's a lot of clever bits in there.
Thank you. That's a U.S. history for the last 80 years.
Yeah. Well, that's true too. That's true too. But also just the little details about the family and where everybody's going and all that sort of deal. And it's go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying that it's also got that great little the riff to it and the way it moves. Very nice. Nicely done,
Thank you very
sir.
much. My favorite line in there is the history of the planes from a DC-3 to a 737 to my little C5A, of course, which is the biggest transport plane in the world,
Very nice. Oh, and we should also clarify to people who may be confused, because there's this black circular disc that keeps appearing and disappearing in front of your face. If people are curious about what exactly that is, you want to give us a little bit of an explanation? It's maybe slightly more obvious when it's not out in space.
That's my condenser mic. My fancy studio is the corner of my bedroom. So I've got my condenser boom mic hanging off the book.
So as it sort of fades in and out, the silvery thing is actually the microphone, and the big black circle in front of it is a windscreen.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yes, it's a windscreen so that when you make a sound like a p, that it doesn't, go through to the microphone and make it sound weird. So, yeah.
But it's been fun. Thanks for having me. A lot of
Absolutely. Well, one of the cool things here is that we have some time. So let me unmute everybody. And let's see. So Neil, do you have and Chelsea? Actually, I also have a second song of yours just in case. We do have some time. First, I should say for anyone who's watching, hit that like button, hit that share button, so more people can see us. It would be awesome to bring these wonderful performers in front of more people. Neil, do you have a second song you can do for us?
Sure.
You want to think about it for a minute, or you're?
No. I got it down. I just I thought I would do an old one that I wrote about 10 years ago.
Excellent.
Because I don't get to really showcase those songs.
Yeah.
This is one that didn't ever make an EP. So this is called Needed You. It's been a hard night down the line looking back. I wasn't raised like people today. Don't know how they jump back so fast. Down, drowning in loneliness when I found you. We used to walk the city streets in the summer breeze, and I loved it when I'd hear you say, You say I needed you. You said needed you tonight. Remember the days when you used to cry and ask me why? How you could feel so alone, shiver in the cold, and you tried let out a big old sigh. Fight for the dream, I used to say, I'm with you. Every step of the way, through all the pain, and in time what your wishes came true. And you say I needed you. You said needed you tonight. You said needed you. You said needed you tonight. Now you're gone, you feel you found a better life. Always thought your happiness was by my side. Is it wrong for me to hope that we will meet again someday? Every time a woman comes walking my way, all I see is nothing but your sweet face. What I give to have you here just one more time, so I can say, I'd say I needed you. I'd say needed you tonight. I'd say needed you. I'd say needed you tonight.
Very, very nice. That one never made an EP. That one never.
I never put it on. I decided not to.
Why not, man? That's a good song.
I don't know. I mean, it's still out there for me to put.
That's true.
Just,
That's true. It
I
could
never
go on the
really
next
got it
one.
produced, and so I thought I would do that. So
Well,
maybe.
it could go on the next one. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how things go.
Yeah, I'd love
Very
to.
cool. Thank you so much for doing that, Neil. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it
Let
too,
me
man.
put it over to Chelsea. There you are. Oh, you know what? And actually, we can't really see it in that view here. I'll show it this way. I made reference to the strange individual behind you. I don't think. Do we actually tell people the story of what's going on behind you right now?
So Billy and I were doing a couple live stream shows for Honest Trav's virtual dive bar. It's a group on Facebook, and I have this guy, Billy Joe Armstrong. He's the lead singer of Green Day. I got him at my surprise birthday party in February, and we just decided to set him up.
That was my first question. Is how does one end up with a cardboard cutout of Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day? So
Well. I'm in love with him, so he was standing up at my surprise birthday party. So brought him home and masked him up because that's appropriate, and
Right.
we just put him in the background of our live stream. So here he is.
So there he is. That's excellent. Well, I'm glad that in some way, shape, or form, some version of Billy Joe Armstrong could be with us for the Cyber Speakeasy tonight. That's excellent.
Me too.
And I'll mention this here. We've got this is Ellen Flicko. Is that the name? Okay. She's asking if you can do California. We probably can't really do it live right now, but I'd say plan to have California as on your list of requested songs. Possibly on you said Sunday, right? When you're going to be over at the.
Yeah. We'll be at Foundation from 1 to 3 on Sunday, so I'll definitely I'll go live for that as well, and I'll play
Awesome.
California for Ellen. Yeah,
There
that's
you go.
awesome. Thank you for asking for that, Ellen.
Absolutely. You know, we have just enough time to do one more song. I'll leave it up to you because I did pull up another clip just so we're ready of your version of Ring of Fire, or we can see if Tom can radio in from outer space. But the deal is yours right now, so you get to decide. Do we put Tom on the spot or do we do Ring of Fire?
I I don't want to put Tom on the spot, but if he's willing to, I really enjoyed his other songs, so I'd love it if he could play another one for us.
Let's find out. Tom, you're good?
I'm good to go. Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, let's put Tom up here.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah.
This song I wrote at the very end of last year, and it's a song called Coming Your Way. It's a song about where change might be hiding and what you might need to do if it pops its face up. It's in the shift of the wind, in the lowing of the light, in the first hint of feeling restless where change does abide. It's in the first mighty geese flying north, in a bed of ferns crackling to life. It's when your heart learns it can't live alone. You know it is time. So take that step, small and unsteady. Take that breath, one at a time. Hold the now in the palm of your hand, sacred and wild. Steady your heart, steady your gaze, steady ahead, there's only today. Time and love, the great healers, they are coming your way. They're coming your way. This is the day you will find what was stolen, the day you reclaim your role, the day the ice breaks on the great river, soon love will flow. So take that step, small and unsteady, take that breath, one at a time. Hold the now in the palm of your hand, sacred and wild. Steady your heart, steady your gaze, steady ahead, there's only today. Time and love, the great healers, they are coming your way. Coming your way. Coming your way. Coming your way.
Very, very nice.
Thank you.
It's such a nice way to bring things together in terms of being open and moving forward. And it makes me feel even worse that one of the things I was observing when I was watching you perform is that periodically your virtual background would show up on your guitar and to give us a nice view of Western Europe. I was like, there's a rhyme about seeing London and France, and that's actually what I can see right through Tom's guitar, which is totally not what we need to be thinking about for your song. But thank you very much for giving us such a nice and heartfelt way to wrap things up today.
Thanks. I love the positivity of that song. I really trying to do more of that.
Positive. Oh, hey, we should mention this just before we go, since you and I have our songwriting challenges going back and forth. we had said that we were going to get that. We're doing it quarterly now, so it's, let's see, May is the 5th month, so we have another month and a couple days to write a couple new songs. Your challenge to me, refresh my memory, or for people who haven't seen us go back and forth with this before.
My challenge to you this quarter is I usually give you one word to make it very flexible.
Yes.
This quarter, I gave you the challenge of your song must emphasize movement and motion. That's all I said.
Movement and motion. Yes, I like it. Because usually I'm the one, you usually give me a word and I give you something very esoteric in response to it. And this time we flipped it, so since you gave me something that was a little more abstract, I said, okay, well, the word for Tom is run. And as we talked about on my webcast on Tuesday, there are all sorts of interpretations of the word run. Some of them more family friendly than others, but you can have a run in your stocking. You can run a program. You can run down the street. All sorts of different things. So I'm eager to see what you come up with the idea for.
Thanks for the challenge. I appreciate it. Your response to the challenge, Grace, was fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So here, let's put everybody on the screen at the same time. Here, we'll have a chance to head out very soon. Thanks very much to Neil and to Chelsea and Tom for being here with me for the second ever episode of Rockin' the Valley Cyber Speakeasy. Thanks so much to all of you.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you all for making time. And of course, thanks very much to all of the folks who are watching, everyone who's mashing that like button and that share button, everyone who is making sure that our algorithmic overlords are aware that interesting and engaging and creative content like this is fun stuff to engage with. I will be right back here next week at the same place at the same time. I need to start playing my theme music. There we go. I will be right back here at the same place, same time for next week, 7 o'clock on Thursday of next week for Rockin' the Valley's Cyber Speakeasy. I don't know yet who's going to be here, but it's going to be a lot of fun, just like it was tonight. And of course, you can also always see me on Tuesdays in the afternoon at 12:30 for your Coltrane Tuesdays. So that's over at the Not for Coltrane page, where we play the Not for Coltrane Stump the Band game, like I was talking about with Chelsea earlier. There is a tip link over here. I'm grateful for any tips that you can throw in my virtual jar, but it is not required. It is much appreciated if you are able to do so. Stick around, because in just a couple moments, Mr. Steve Jones is going to be playing his way to therapy, because he's going to be coming at you with some boogie woogie piano right here on the Rockin' the Valley page. So thanks very much to all of you who are watching. Thanks again to all of my guests. Thanks to everyone who's watching this on the replay, and everyone who will join us next week. My name is Mike. I am not for Coltrane. Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you right here next time.